budget, in the new budget, they're going to hire an IT guy. He's going to start doing the website. Anytime. When you hear something crazy, no, you won't bother me. I'll come to your house. It's worth it. It's worth it. That's right. I'm not upset with it. I'm just upset at myself.
From the beginning. Do the microphones work tonight? Are these loud enough? Can you guys hear me speaking right now?
Test, test.
Yeah, okay.
It just goes off.
Test, test.
Test.
I hear somebody's.
All right. No, I need it closer if it don't pick up.
Turn it up down here.
I'm not singing. No, it's okay. All right.
Test,
We're a little
test.
late. I'm gonna start this. All right. All right. Go ahead and call the meeting to order. Lots of people here tonight. Very good to see. Thank you for attending. Madam Recorder, we have a quorum with all members present. At this time, we're going to begin with a prayer and a pledge. And tonight, I'm going to ask a former alderman who is also a preacher, Mr. Greg Duncan, if he will come up and lead us in a prayer. Please rise.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you just so much for your goodness and most of all, just for your kindness. We thank you that you have given us breath in our body. Thank you so much. We ask you choice blessing. Most of all, you have richly blessed this town, and most certainly your wonderful angels spared us through the storm and the rain. And most certainly we thank you for everyone that served. Let the words of their mouth be accepted unto you, O Lord, their strength and redeemer. Amen.
Join me in the pledge. All righty. I'm going to have to ask everybody in the audience, we have a full room tonight, and even when you talk quietly amongst yourselves, it's hard for some of these up here to hear, so please keep it down. First thing we need to do is approve the agenda. Mr. Ellis, are there any additions or deletions?
No, sir.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to have an addition, if I could.
An addition?
Well, it'll be at the it'll be at the very, very end. I would like to see that we put on the subject down at the end where we normally put a workshop, possible date for a workshop. And if we could put that on there, then I'll get to the subject matter rather than discuss it now, because
A workshop?
we need a workshop, yes.
Well, we have a meeting
Well, that's budget.
on the 30th.
That's budget. But that's a special called board. It's not a workshop.
So you don't want a meeting, you just want a workshop?
Workshop, yeah.
Do we have to put that on the agenda, or is that something we can
Well, it was
decide?
on the agenda last time, so we don't, one time before.
I think it's better to add it.
Do you have a date?
And then we can have no, we can discuss that when we get to the subject.
Okay,
I just wanted to kind of add it, so whether we can agree to it or not.
if everybody's okay with that. You got something? Okay. Anybody else? Take a motion.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Is there a second? Second from Vice Mayor Cates. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Next is the approval of minutes for the regular board meeting from May the 15th. If you've had time to read them, I'll give you a few minutes to look over it, and I'll take a motion whenever you're ready. That means someone has to actually make a motion. I have a motion to approve from Vice Mayor Cates. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Austin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next is the work session minutes from May the 9th. Take a motion when you're ready. Motion to approve from Vice Mayor Cates. Second.
Second.
Second from Alderman Campbell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm not opposed, I'm just abstaining because I was not at that meeting, so.
Okay, motion passes. All right. Next is the work session minutes from May the 14th, 2025. Kind of short. Take a motion when you're ready. Motion approved from Vice Mayor Cates. Is there a second? Second from Alderman Bailey. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All righty, we have no special item tonight. All right, next is citizens' comments. I'm sure you all are aware. We're following state guidelines on these citizens' comments. I will say that this is very similar to what we have at the county commission. I think at the school board, you actually have to request to be heard before the meeting and sign in. So we're a little bit better than that. Every December or January before the state goes back in session, I sit and meet with our state representatives. I'm actually going to bring this up to them. The state passes these things. They try to help, I think, or they listen to other people. I think that anybody should be able to come up and say anything they want at any time. That's just my personal feelings, and when the time comes, I will mention that something to our state senator and our state rep before next legislative session. So that's just me. The citizens comment section, this is the portion of the agenda that is reserved for public comment from Town of Oakland residents who wish to comment on matters that are germane to the items on tonight's agenda. Speakers shall limit their comments to 3 minutes unless additional time is allowed by the chair. The total length of this public comment period shall not exceed 10 minutes. Is there any Oakland resident who wishes to speak tonight? Amy?
Yes, sir.
Come on up.
I'm a business owner and I'm a resident for over 20 years. And I am very concerned over the direction that y'all are taking Oakland. And I stand here alone, but I'm speaking for half of Oakland. I service the public out here. And I'm going to give y'all an example over the increase of the water bill. I understand it now, but this has been going on for months. Somebody who's in charge of letting the residents know, since we have to pay it, somebody that it's their job to let the information be known on what the true reason is of the increase failed. I heard that, well, we needed a new water plant, or we need this, or we need that. And you hear all these comments, and nobody out here really knows, and everybody's upset. You got all these people that came out here to retire. And with the way America is right now, people are struggling.
Can I ask a question? I hate to interrupt you. We don't have anything about water rates on tonight's
I understand
agenda.
that, sir, but can I comment on that?
Well, I thought your comments were about
My comment.
the agenda in particular and
I
not being...
got 3 comments, and I will get out of y'all's way.
Good job.
One of them is over the water, and y'all failing to let the residents and the businesses know what is going on out here. The second one, who can answer me this question? How high does the grass have to be before you are citated? I already know. I want somebody out here to tell me, what is the highest your grass can be before you're given a $250 citation? Does anybody on the board know that answer?
12 inches.
Thank you, sir. That's exactly right. So I'm going to let this be known. Next time I'm given a citation, when we are getting all this damn rain, excuse me, I didn't mean to cuss. But the next time I get a citation, somebody is going to have a problem. Y'all better make sure that it's 12 inches or greater. And I'm going to say one more thing before I leave, and it's probably going to ruffle feathers. And I'm speaking for the half of Oakland. And you don't have to take my word for it. Let everybody come up in here and speak. What was done to Police Chief Chris Earl was the most unethical, unprofessional thing that I have ever seen. This man, Mr. Earl, I love what you do for this town, and so does the town. And the people in Oakland have your back, sir. And
All
I'm
right.
first in line.
Thank you.
And all you officers that are out there busting your butt, doing your job, y'all keep this man in your sight, because people out here in Oakland love y'all too and love what you do. God bless you all. I back the blue.
Okay. Thank you for your comment. Thank you. Thank you. Again, this is new. Please keep comments to what's on the agenda. Is there anybody else who wants to speak about something on the agenda tonight? Come on.
We got two right here.
Come on up, ma'am. Yeah.
We got permission to speak. We didn't know what was on the agenda. She's going to speak, and I'm going to give you handouts.
Okay. I wrote a letter to the aldermen because I couldn't possibly tell our horror story in 3 minutes. So I made copies, and hopefully you'll take the time to read it. I do have a few points that I could speak about right now. We live in Oakland Woods subdivision. We walk our dogs on a leash probably 5 times a week. We walk to the little pond that is near our house, and there's a paved walkway around it. We walk the dogs around that. That's where we feed a duck, a simple little white duck. But we feed her every time we go. We are horribly attacked by dogs that are behind a crummy, falling down fence that are vicious dogs. I had to beat it off of me after it hurt Laura's dog, and the dog got loose from us and ran. We didn't know where. We found out later she ran home. This should not happen in a public park. We were hurting no one. We were not causing any noise, any disturbances of any kind. We were simply walking our dogs when this dog came out of a hole in this fence, and it was it was a Rottweiler. Do you know how strong a Rottweiler is? It's impossible to hold that dog down. Fortunately, I had a walking stick with me because we had seen this dog running back and forth in the yard at times before, trying to get at us, but it didn't get out of the fence on those occasions. This time it did. It attacked Laura's dog. It got her down. She got loose because I was beating this dog with my stick. I'm 85 years old and I'm beating a Rottweiler dog with a stick. I'm not armed because that's not allowed, and I wouldn't do it anyway. But I feel like I should be safe to walk in a public park or a public street without being attacked by a dog.
You have pictures.
We have pictures to show the aldermen
I've had
also.
2 dog attacks, once in
Okay.
23
Yes.
and once in 25.
That's another thing. This was not a first attack. This is a 3rd attack that we're aware of. How many others we don't know. But we can swear on 3 attacks. 2 of them happened to Laura and her dogs. Something has to be done. Either these people have to put up a new fence, or if it's a rental, the rental company has to put up a new fence. Covering that hole with a board is not going to work because the fence is falling down all the way around the property.
Ladies, if it's not too much of an inconvenience, could you hang around after the meeting, and I'll be glad to meet with you in my office and we can discuss this some more,
Sure.
if that satisfies you?
That's okay with me. Is that okay with you? You want to meet
Would
with
that be
Harvey
okay?
after?
Yes.
If you
That'd
guys
be
will
okay?
stick
Yes.
around,
All right.
we can talk about this. Yes. I am aware of this issue. Harvey and I spoke about it yesterday
Thank you.
with code enforcement.
I'm
I can't plead with you enough to
I understand.
follow up on town ordinances, that dogs have to be leashed if they're not running amok. They just, it's ridiculous. And not only that, this was on Friday, June 6th, that this happened. On Monday, June 9th, we went back to the park to feed the duck. We did not take our dogs. At that time, out of the same fence came 2 French bulldogs after us.
Not as scary.
Not as big a dogs. So when I started waving the stick and poking it at them to get away from us, they took off and ran out to the street. A few minutes later, they came back, looked at us, went back in their yard through the same hole they came out of. And by that time, we had found another person's yard that had an unlocked gate. So we had opened that gate and went in for our protection. We followed through to get out of the park, to go through this yard, to get to the street. And on the first attack, when we we finally got to the street, the dog came after us again because it didn't go back in its yard. The Rottweiler went around the fence to the Cove Road and met us as we were trying to go across there to get to our homes. Young kids go down there to go fishing. Mothers bring little infants down there, toddlers. If that dog got a hold of one of them, this town would never recover from what would happen.
Okay, ma'am, thank you for bringing this to our attention. We do need to move on with the meeting. You can meet right after. This is Mr. Harvey Ellis, the town manager. He can address all of your concerns.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm being a little lenient because no one knew about must be on the agenda tonight. So that's it. Technically, we're over the 10 minutes. Roy, I'm going to let you come up. Can you keep it brief?
I always carry a time.
1 minute.
Well, can you do it in 1 minute or less?
I don't know about 1 minute or less, but I always carry a timer, and I won't be long, that's for sure. Mayor
Okay.
Brown taught me 3 minutes. Nobody, it didn't matter if everybody else had all the time they wanted. But anyway, nonetheless, I rise tonight, starting my timer, to talk about what's on the agenda, the gypsum board, the change in the town ordinance. A lot of people don't know this, but it won't take them long since everybody has a smartphone in their pocket tonight to look it up. There's over 100,000 lawsuits. That's not 10,000, that's 100,000. Well over 100,000 lawsuits for people being poisoned in their own dwellings by gypsum that contained or is releasing poisonous poisons into their home. Why, do you ask? Where does this gypsum come from? China. Okay, it doesn't take, look it up, you go, I didn't know that. And most people's largest investment is their home. And if you allow people to buy homes that could be end up poisoning them, that's shameful. So I'm not against the good change to make it thicker for the fire retardant and all that. But I would think that we could put an ordinance in our town that said the country of origin of that gypsum has to be the U.S. It cannot be China. They have a history of lying, cheating, stealing, poisoning America, COVID, you name it. But we could stop it now instead of having to deal with sick people later. That's all. 1 minute and 30 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roy. Okay, the citizens' comments section is now going to be closed. We'll move on the agenda. Comments from the mayor. I didn't have anything tonight. I guess I'll be very brief and just do a public service announcement, I guess. I appreciate a lot of people being here. When you're here and you hear people actually speak, you know what they said. Many of you will go home and read a completely different rendition of what happened at this meeting online tomorrow. That's done by design. There's a few people who are purposely lying to you and misrepresenting what goes on here at Oakland. So all of us are easy to find. You can get in touch with any of us. You can call. I will talk to anybody about anything at any time. So I guess that's the only comment that I have tonight. Moving to the comments from the Board of Aldermen. Vice Mayor Cates, do you have anything this evening?
I did have, but I done talked to Mr. Miner about it, and the code man, I get too upset when I talk about it. It's that dang grass. We got a rental house in our neighborhood, the grass is over waist high. And
Put your microphone.
it's over waist high right now. I took pictures of it, and it seemed like nobody can find out who owns it. I know Dennis and them cut it 2 or 3 times last year. What gets me so bad, I guess, that I don't understand, I understand what Mr. Miner's saying about the law, but the people that owns property like this, nobody's lived there in 2 or 3 years. They've been notified they have to cut it. I don't understand why we had to give them 25 days to cut it and then wait another 60 days for our town to go cut it, when it should be their responsibility to cut it every 2 or 3 weeks. I just get upset about it, and nobody should have to live next to that house. You go over on Suzanne and look at that house, 160. I guarantee you it's taller than my waist right now. The bushes in the house is already covered taller than the windows. Neighbors are living on each side of that, saying they're seeing rats in there. Oakland citizens deserve better than that from these rental places. And I think Mr. Tom, he has sent them a registered letter, if I understand. Is that right?
Cody sent a registered letter, and it has not been accepted. The letter will now be published in the Fayette Falcon for the next 2 weeks. Just to make clear, the town could go out and cut the grass, but without going through the steps that are set out by state law, you're not able to then assess the property as a tax for the cost to the town of cutting the grass if you don't go through these steps. And by going through these steps, it allows the town ultimately to force the property to go to a tax sale where some person that might take care of the property or the town itself as a part of blight control takes the property back, and the current property owner loses their property simply because they didn't cut the grass. So it's due process that has to be followed to allow the town to have the opportunity to get the property at a tax sale.
I know that grass was reported more than once when it was 12 foot, and this is what I got upset about a while ago. If you got 12-inch grass and you have to wait 25 days before somebody can cut it, nobody gonna tell me that grass can grow from 12 inches to over 4 foot tall in 25 days. I don't care how much fertilizer you put on it. I got a farm and I know better, so you ain't gonna convince me of that. But it's just aggravating. It's an eyesore, and it's not my house. It's in our neighborhood, but I just feel sorry for the people that live next door to it.
Can I make a comment? I don't know what the state law is. Well, first off, I think we need to look at getting Mr. Miner a microphone. What he says is usually very important, and the people at home are watching this later can't hear you most of the time. I don't know what the state law is. I do know that I talked to code enforcement in Bolivar, Tennessee yesterday, and if you get a letter from them, you have 10 days to correct the problem, or they come and cut the grass for you and send you a $200 bill.
And that's the same law if you know who the property owner is. Unfortunately, no one is able to determine who the property owner of this home is. I don't want to make any assumptions, but the taxes are getting paid, and they're getting paid. Joe knows the address. I think it's out of California.
Okay.
So someone's paying the taxes out of California, but yet you're not accepting the certified. Harvey or a department head, I
And that's something that I asked the state to address also, getting us a registry of people who don't, the homeowners that don't live in their houses, we need a contact for those individuals.
And the legislature has been asked now for the last 3 sessions.
Yes.
That register.
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
I can understand what you're saying, Mr. Minor, and I don't want the town, as bad as I want it cut, I don't want the town to go cut it and not get paid. We don't want to open that can of worms and then start cutting people's yard. That's not what I'm after. I want to do it the right legal way, but I would like to see something done before it gets any worse out there. I got one other thing. I guess I could wait till Blake or Mr. Ellis, either one can answer this. I was over there today. Why are we locking the gate to the recycle place late in the afternoons and on weekends?
I think Dennis can answer that. We don't, that recycle center is ran by the county. Well, Oakland has nothing to do with that, but I'll let Dennis elaborate.
We have nothing to do with that, Mr. Frank, that's Fayette County.
I understand that.
We lock it 3 days a week. That's what they have on the fence. That's their hours.
We met a few months back with the new director, and that was, he requested that we lock it for him every day to help. Dennis volunteered to do that a couple of days a week, but they have total control over that.
So why we got a recycle place if we can't use it?
That's for him to answer.
I reached out to Mayor Skip Taylor, the county mayor, this week about that very issue. He said he was going to get with the person over the landfill, and he was going to try to come up with something. I'm kind of like, I agree with Mr. Cates. It's a couple of bins. You could go in there and throw your cardboard away without being supervised for that.
They're doing it, people are going, even though the bins are full, they're just throwing their stuff on the ground. So they're locking it to keep that from happening. So you spend several hours picking up all that trash and people just throw on the ground. Even though the bins are full, they just pull up there and throw it on the ground, drive off.
But when it's open, y'all can't monitor that. You don't have time. It's not your responsibility. So what if people, they can just go in there when it's open and do that. The gate don't have to be locked to stop that. I'm not blaming you. But if they're responsible for it, they ought to be responsible to have to come up here and lock it and unlock it. You shouldn't have to do it for them.
I would rather you not lock it and unlock it and just call and say, hey, the bins are full.
Well, when they do that right there, they don't show up at 9:30 or 10 o'clock and unlock it. That's the reason we unlock it at 7 and close
Right.
it at 3:30.
Well, can we run this in the paper or put it out? Does everybody in Oakland know this? I didn't know it till I went over there the weekend.
Great big signs all over the fence.
Sir?
Yeah, but I get calls from people that are sitting at that fence looking at that sign. They call and want to know when it's going to get unlocked.
They should
We
call,
open it on the 3 days a week, we open it at 7 a.m.
they should call the number on the fence.
That's
Great big
Well,
sign.
we should have a way to notify our citizens of that too without them driving over there to find that.
I think I posted on
He
Facebook
put it in
last
the
week.
paper. I read it myself.
okay.
Okay. That's all I got. I'm sorry.
That's okay. A lot of talk about grass tonight. Mr. Campbell, you got anything?
Yeah, just, I want to say, we're glad to see all the people here. Like the mayor said, y'all can hear it firsthand. And I agree with Alderman Vice Mayor Cates. I have the same problem in my neighborhood with grass. Thank you.
All right. Alderman Austin,
I don't have anything.
Ms. Hummel.
Thank you, sir. Yes, we've got a wonderful event coming up on the 28th. I think it's been posted at Parks and Rec, which is our fireworks display. And I do want to commend the police force for the announcement that they put out today for our citizens to understand how to get in and how to get out. I think it's going to be wonderful for the traffic control. Plus, they've cut back on no rowdiness, no running kids, and they're going to have people monitoring the restrooms to make certain there's no gathering in there, doing who knows what. But anyway, I commend the police force for showing an initiative to help better control of our fireworks display this year. Thank you so much for doing it and posting it. I think we've shared it all over. And also in support of our 4th of July event, normally in the past, we have used our own city hall for Hal Rounds to do his activity of the 4th of July remembrance of why we celebrate 4th of July. It's a free event. It will be at our activity center. This is something our senior citizens can enjoy. And there will be light snacks. It is free. And people, it'll be on the 4th of July at the activity center at 11 o'clock. Always lasts about an hour. Everyone will get a free constitution and also be some light refreshments for them. So everyone needs to come to that. That'll be on July 4th. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Alderman Bailey?
I have nothing.
Nothing. Excellent. I mean, not excellent, but we can move on. Okay. All right, next up is consideration of department director reports. Is there any director besides Chief Walls? No, come on up. Come on up, Chief. I got you.
I want to expand off of Alderman Hummel's comments. I know last year some events happened that brought concern to citizens of the town. But I want to assure them, we've been meeting with the emergency services people throughout the county, the Oakland Police Department, Oakland Fire Department, Emergency Management Agency, the Fayette County Sheriff's Department, Fayette County EMS, and Fayette County Fire to have a coordinated effort to make sure that these events don't happen. But we want you to know that we're prepared to take care of everything from a lost child to an active shooter incident. We see things have changed in our country. These are things that we have to face that can happen. But we don't want people to be scared not to come to an event because of this. This is the United States. We don't do that. But we want to assure you that we will be prepared. We're working together. We've had 2 wonderful meetings to discuss tactical considerations, and we are prepared for this event. The next thing I'd just like to mention, we just had 5 guys complete swiftwater rescue training on the Ocoee River in East Tennessee. We had 6 go. We had 1 got injured during the training. This is probably one of the most dangerous trainings that you will participate in because it's active swift water. But as you know, Oakland has become a town of lakes. We have retention ponds all over that any moment we could have a child, we see them swimming in them during the summer. We have to be prepared and be able to respond to that. So that's what, this is the most strict line of training. So if we get that, we can be able to handle anything that comes before us. If you notice the trailer outside, which I hope we don't get cited for, it's going to be sitting out here a few days. This is from the state fire service training. It is sprinkler simulator where our guys are going to go through to enhance their training on supporting sprinkler systems. As you know, we're getting more and more sprinkler systems in the town, and we want to be able to support these during a fire event to cut down on fire loss. I guess we'll talk about the sheetrock issue when we get to that.
Sure.
Is there anything that I can
Any questions
answer?
for
Any
Chief
questions or anything I can clarify for you?
I got a comment for you.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank you, and I appreciate what you did for me last week and the incidents that happened to me, that you responded so fast.
I appreciate that, sir, and you're my friend. So,
Hey, don't worry about your trailer because first off, it has to get mailed. So with our mail, you probably won't get it for a couple of months.
we're good.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
All right. Chief Earl?
So I'm just going to take a minute, just kind of bear with me. I'm going to go over a couple of allegations that were made at our last meeting. I think we need to have a little clarity on it because, you know, opinions would just get thrown out, and we took it as the gospel and went by it. So I'm just going to touch on a couple of them. The first thing was said that the sheriff and myself don't get along. That's just not true. We have a good working relationship. Anytime I need something, I can call him. Vice versa. Other thing that was brought up was that we don't do anything, but we're concerned about road safety and writing tickets. So when this was put out, they decided to use 180 days as a measuring stick.
We give stats out every month. So I don't know if that was for a dramatic effect or what, but they came up with 2,300 citations. TDOT did a study not too long ago on Highway 64 from 194 eastbound, and they came up with a figure of 17,000 vehicles a day. So if you do the math, take the 17,000, multiply it by 180, comes out to 3,060,000 cars just on that strip. We're not talking about the rest of the town. So if you do the percentage on that, it comes out to 0.075% to show the significance of the 2,300. Of the 2,300 stops that they made, they had 211 arrests, 13 DUIs where people were driving through your town intoxicated, 30 driving on revoked license, 53 were driving on suspended license. In this same 180-day period, they managed to make 5,679 calls for service. They had 223 incident reports, 71 vehicle crash reports, and 1,000 warning citations. So you can see that traffic enforcement is not all that we do. Keep in mind that traffic enforcement is a valuable tool. It saves lives. It opens doors to criminal investigations. And it's inherently probably one of the most dangerous parts of a policeman's job, traffic stops. Some of the other stuff, I won't go through all of it, but they were concerned about basically us not being transparent. Well, let me touch on the neighborhoods. We are in the neighborhoods. People see us in the neighborhoods. They send us text messages and emails all the time. Let's see. At nighttime, we have a Delta shift that we put out there, extra cars. So you probably see them out there with takedown lights on, alley lights, riding in the neighborhoods. There's about 28, 29 subdivisions, so there's a lot to cover with the manpower. We still have the highway that we have to protect because there's businesses on the highway. We can't just leave that open for burglars and vandals and stuff. So we're not getting off the highway. You have to be protecting the neighborhoods and the highway. So I can't underscore that enough. They mentioned the shooting that took place. That was in August of 2023 over on Cypress Point. That was not a random shooting. It was premeditated. Since that has happened, that suspect was shot and killed in Memphis in a drive-by shooting. She mentioned some car thefts that took place. That was on the 7th of May off of Cambridge Pass and Cambridge Cove, where they stole a Challenger and an Infiniti. They were people from Shelby County that came out here with like a shopping cart list of vehicles they were looking for. They recovered part of the vehicle in North Memphis of the Challenger. They also recovered the pistol that was left in the vehicle. Mentioned the ATM burglary that took place in February. It was an attempt. That was also on Facebook. We put all this on Facebook. We put a description of the truck involved and asked for the citizens' help because it'd be hard to do this if we didn't have the community helping. Mentioned the ATM robbery that took place in April. We said this once, say it again. It's an ongoing investigation. We can't reveal what's going on right now. We have a task force involved. Mentioned response to the school threats and what have you. That falls under the jurisdiction of the Sheriff Department. If they need us, we're available to them anytime they need us. Also mentioned was high-speed pursuits going through town. That was not us. That was the Highway Patrol and the Sheriff Department pursuing a suspect. We do have a pursuit policy in our PNP. Brought up, let's see here, writing parking tickets on Bo Tisdale around the DMV. That's because the neighborhood called us and asked us to come out there and write parking tickets because they were parking from the driveways, mailboxes, up on the curbs. So that's the reason we were out there, and the neighborhood asked us to come out there. So basically, you can see there's nothing wrong with the mechanics of the police department or the leadership, I might add. So there must have been some other issue behind all this. The town's got, you know, growing pains and problems, but I can assure you the police department is not one of them. If any of you would like to do a ride-along with one of the officers, come sign a waiver in case you get injured, you know, pick out what shift you want to do, come take a ride-along, see what the officers do. Keep in mind that, you know, we are one of the safest towns. We said that 1,000,000 times. Out of 346 municipalities, we're in the top 5. That's not by chance. It's because these officers take pride in keeping the town safe. And my door is always open. And by the way, nobody brought any of this to my office. None of these concerns were brought to me. So that's about all I have for this. So now we'll move on to something a little more uplifting.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes,
before you
sir.
go any further?
Sure.
How many cars did you say it was on 64 eastbound each day?
17,000
Is that just eastbound?
Just
Is that
eastbound.
coming through Oakland or just?
eastbound. It was 25,000 until it got up to 194, and then it dropped to 17,000.
So it was 25,000 out of Memphis to
Yeah.
194?
Right. To 194.
And then there was 17
It dropped
on through?
eastbound.
I think it's about 35,000 cars a day on
Ooh,
64
that's a
going
lot
through
of
Oakland. Is that
Yeah.
about right?
Yeah, so that's just that one strip. So, you know, there's a lot of traffic out here.
Hey, Chief, before you go on, I do appreciate your comments.
Okay.
I'd like to point something out, because this is, and I don't want to belittle everything that you said, because it was all good. People that don't live here have a misconception about Oakland, that all we are is a speed trap. That's all we are. You said in 6 months, your officers wrote 1,000 warnings.
Yeah.
That's more than 150 warnings per month. So we're not out here just trying to write tickets. We're just trying to keep the town safe. So
Absolutely.
I like when you put stuff out like that. And can you tell people to quit putting their guns in their cars?
I've done that.
I
I've called
know.
people to
I
my
know.
office.
I know.
When they keep their guns in their car, I usually make a call to them, ask them to come down here and explain to me why they thought that was a good idea.
That's how criminals get them.
Yeah, because somebody might get killed with that weapon. So,
Thank you, Chief.
yeah,
I
so,
have a question, Chief, before
Yeah.
you go something happy, but
Right.
I heard what all you said, but I have a couple of questions for you. Now, your job as chief is not a 9 to 5 job, where you come in at 9, you leave at 5, and you don't show up at night. Yours is a 24-hour job, is that right?
I'm on call. They call me any time of the night for me to come out. Absolutely.
Now, I understand that, particularly in my house, all my living room is in the back of the house, so I'm not really at the front of my house. I've been out front, and I've seen the patrol cars coming through my neighborhoods, which I appreciate it. But I understand you don't have time when you come through to stop at my door and knock on it and say, Miss Hummel, I'm driving through your neighborhood today. So unless I'm really up front and see this, I wouldn't know how many times you're coming through my neighborhood. Is that right? I understand someone
Yeah,
up
they're-
here
right.
said they're not coming through the
Right,
neighborhood.
so keep in mind that there's, you know, we're talking 28, 29 different subdivisions. So, you know, I like to ask people, where do they think the next car is going to be stolen at, like in front of which house is going to be stolen at? Because if I could do that, then I'd probably go to the casinos and win some money. But they do a good job, and having the alley lights on, riding around, that makes a difference too, trust me.
Thank you, sir.
People see it coming, so. Any other questions on that?
Chief Earl?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Just keep an eye on them challengers since I have one.
Okay.
Yeah, write down his address. That's the
All right,
next
yeah.
house right there.
All right, yeah, you keep it locked up.
Alderman Bailey.
Yeah, Chief Earl, I just want everybody to know that you and I had a good long talk.
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir,
We
did.
got things,
Yes, sir, we did, absolutely.
all the smoke is clear. We're on an even keel.
Yes, sir.
And, but I just want everybody to know that. And I do appreciate the police force. I'm behind you. All of our EMS, all of our protection people. I appreciate every one of you. I wouldn't want your job for anything.
Thank you, we appreciate it. The guys do a really good job. They're all dedicated to the town. Any of them could have left at any time, and they're a really outstanding group, as far as they go.
If I could, Chief, I want to publicly acknowledge, thank you for what you do and your guys and the women that work for us, fire as well.
Right.
Thank you for what you do every day, all of you guys. Thank you for choosing to work at Oakland and protect the citizens here.
Thank you much. The guys appreciate it. So now, I would like to, today we're proud to recognize a very special young man who has shown a lot of interest in the police department. He's responsible, he's kind, he has a strong sense of the community. He's at the ripe age of 10 years old, and he wants to be a police officer. He's been to all the police functions. So I'm going to call Drendon Rainey up here. Drendon, where are you? Come on up, brother. Come on around here, Drendon. And this is his dad, Josh Rainey. All right, so Drendon showed a great respect for others, and he loves people. He set a great example for his peers. So I'm going to present him with a junior police badge tonight.
Oh.
He's going to be part of our... And he's going to be part of our extended family. And just remember, you might want to turn up this side. Okay, listen here. Just remember that being a hero starts with a small kindness and courage, having courage and kindness, okay? And keep on doing a good job. You're part of the family. All right?
Yes. Yes.
Hey, real quick, I just want to say something a little bit. He comes from a long line of service, gratitude. I'm retired, Army, 16 years, did 5 combat tours, I was wounded twice. Trust me, I know the sacrifices that each and every one of these men do for us every single day. And I promise you, there's no other citizen in this town that does more for these guys than this man standing right here beside. If y'all don't know who I am, I'm the guy that walked 146 miles, 1 mile for every law enforcement volunteer in my year.
Yes.
Okay, come on here.
Let the police department get in with it. Come on up.
Come on, bud. Come on, guys. He's part of it.
Come on up, guys. Don't be bashful.
Come on.
There you go.
He needs to get out. You need to get off your knees.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Chief. Chief, come right here. Come right here.
Get it where all, if all you guys don't mind hearing.
Naked. We can stand up. We can either hide behind or we can stand up. What do you?
What about him?
Lieutenant Perry. Lieutenant Perry, come on.
Okay, is everybody ready? Okay, well, I'm gonna take a couple. Okay, thank you very much.
Does anybody have any questions for the chief?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Is there any other department head who wishes to come on up?
Is that it?
Hard to follow that up. I know it got brought up a couple times, so I just want to mention we are having our 4th of July fireworks June 28th over at West Junior High School starting at 5 o'clock. We will have our vendors open. Fireworks will go off at 9 p.m. So I just wanted to thank our fire and police department taking me to the meeting up there in Somerville yesterday, meet with the sheriff's office. So for all that, I think it's going to be a great event. I think we got a good handle on what we're doing safety-wise this year. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good. I appreciate it. That's all I want to mention. So,
Are the lights in the parking lot going to be off this year?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They were out. They were out last year. They will be out again this year. Yes, sir. So.
Any questions for Chase?
I would just like to know how the progress is going at the new park. I've seen him over there working
Yes.
with the.
They are out there every day. They mention all the time that the dirt over there dries up pretty quick, so they're out there making great progress. I've been taking some pictures. I'm out there probably every other day taking some pictures, and I would love to, one of these meetings, take some, present some of those pictures. Me and Harvey could get some together and present these to you guys.
Yeah, because they're working in the very back, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because
Yes,
I've
ma'am.
gone over there, but I'm not driving through to get the nail or anything, but I can see it from the street. The trucks
Yeah,
make-
yes, ma'am. Well, you can get through that gate, and there's the whole parking lot right there, and you can see clear view of what they're doing out there.
So they have completed the rough end plumbing for the concession stand, restroom area. They may have already poured the slab, but I don't think they poured it yet. And then
I
on
don't
the
think they
backside, on the backside they're working on installing the sewer pump station and a sewer line to the north. So once that's done, they're going to focus on the fields. So depending on weather, hopefully next week they'll finish that.
Okay, thank you. I've just seen a lot of people asking about how the progress was going.
Sounds good.
Any other? Go ahead.
Chase, I drive by once a week, and I've actually talked to people, pulled in there, and done a lot of excessive dirt work.
They have.
Looking good.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
It is.
Yes, sir.
It is.
I encourage. I get plenty of people that ask me about it. I encourage them to go down there and check it out. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right.
Anything else? We good? All right.
Sounds
Thank you, Chase. Any other department head?
Mr.
Might
Mc-
as well. Yes.
I have a question for our code enforcement, Mr. McDonald.
Go ahead. Give
Mr.
Mr. McDonald
Mr.
come
McDonald.
forward.
I came up here just tonight, and I see where I've got a new report that I've never seen anything like it before. It has a master list, and it's got multiple pages of address of all the violations. And is this going to be a new report that we're going to get?
Yes, ma'am. Harvey and I talked about it. We wanted to give it to you guys tonight. See your recommendations. If you want it every month, we can give it every month.
I would.
But the one you've got just covers May.
Yes.
Because we can only do it for an entire month, so June will
right.
be in the next month.
I think this is an excellent report, because a lot of times when we get the report, it just says number of this, number of that. And I think it's with the legend on the front also, it kind of shows us what type of repeat violations we are
Right.
seeing.
Right.
And we could be able to track it ourselves,
And
make
that-
our own
that-
spreadsheet.
That's correct, and that's one thing, the software that we purchased is helping us track repeat offenders so that we can get on it faster. Before, we're like, yeah, I think I wrote that one up, but, now we know who's a repeat offender from year to year, especially with grass.
Well, this is an excellent report. Please
Yeah.
keep it up.
All right.
Very good. Thank you.
I do have
Any-
a question for you, sir.
Hey, Joe, hold on one second. I'm
got
sorry.
one question.
Director
I'll call him
McDonald.
tomorrow.
Go ahead.
One question.
Okay.
You got an item here called signs and banners. What does that, can you tell me what that entails?
That's mainly Ed. Like if we would have an illegal sign, say like the one we done at Green Cactus,
Yeah,
like if we issued a non-compliance on it, it would go under signs and banners.
okay. Well, I guess I'll have to talk to Mr. Corton about that, because I have an issue with the sign, and I've already talked to him once.
You want Mr. Corton?
He's coming.
He's coming.
Tell him, come on.
Don't hit your head.
They want you to do some push-ups.
Ed, you and I talked about a sign at the entrance to my neighborhood. Yes, sir. Now, if we have a covenant that has been in place for a while, does that take precedent over them being allowed to put a sign at our entrance?
Covenant's a private issue, and if you have that, you can enforce it yourself.
Okay,
That would be outside of what we would have
Okay, I just wanted to know if that was something the city did or we have to take care of that.
That'd be something you would have.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. McDonald? Any other questions for any department head? Okay, thank you. All righty, next is the town manager's report. The highlight of the evening. Go ahead, Mr. Ellis.
Very quickly, I just want to make the board and the public aware, the staff are planning a Veterans Day event at our Cypress Creek Veterans Park. I'm not aware of us doing one in the past. We're not quite sure what it's going to look like, but we want to do something. So I want to welcome input from the citizens and the board. My door's open, email, call, come by. We're in the preliminary staging area of this today. We met with a couple veterans earlier this week and came up with a few ideas, so I just want to put that out there. So feel free to contact me and any idea you have, we'll see if we can implement it and get something started for Veterans Day. That's the only thing I have.
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is old business. We have none. We will move to new business. Ordinances on the first reading. There is ordinance 2503 about portable storage containers and establishing permit requirements. Do I have a motion to hear?
I make a motion here, ordinance 25-03 on the portable storage containers.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Vice Mayor Cates. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Mr. Ellis?
Mayor and Board, ordinance 2503, as you mentioned, established permitting requirements for portable storage containers and bins. We currently do not have regulations in place for this issue. We've tried to enforce it in the past without ordinances. Of course, the judge threw it out. Mr. McDonald put this together. I think it's very simple. I think it's very well written. It defines what these containers are, and it states the placement standards of where they can be put. It allows for a pod or a storage to be available once you get a permit for 60 days, and that can be extended for an additional 30 days. And there's a $40 permit fee proposed, and there are also some repercussions if you violate the policy. So to effectively enforce this, we have to have something on the books. This is a start. So if you guys had it for a few days, if you could look at it and comment, if it's something you want to move forward with, we encourage it.
Any questions or comments?
Yeah, you say it's for 60 days with a 30-day extension?
Yes, sir.
Then what happens after the 90 days if they don't move it for another week or so like we're doing the firecracker stands?
Failure to obtain or extend a permit in accordance with this ordinance shall result in a fine not to exceed $50 for each day the container remains unpermitted. The town reserves the right to require removal of any container in violation of this ordinance at the property owner's expense.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think also our mayor can remember, and also Alderman Cates, a year or so ago, we had an issue, and I think which prompted this is very important, where we had a citizen, through unfortunate water damage or whatever, ended up with a storage unit on their property that went on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And so we did not have the proper ordinance in order to get them to clear it up, establishments. I think this is an excellent ordinance that I do support in order to keep that from happening again.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Can we add shipping containers to this ordinance?
I would defer to Attorney Minor, but I don't see why not.
There's one that's sitting on a driveway, has been there for quite a while.
Yeah, you always just want to make sure when you're designating something like a shipping container that there is a proper definition of it so that the code people are not forced to have to interpret. You want to make sure there's a specific definition by dimensions or shape or whatever it is, so that, because you got to have the ability of your code people to look at it, read it, see it, and know that it's a violation.
I think it needs to be added and clearly
Well,
defined.
it says legal reviewed. Is that it says or similar containers, would that not cover that, or do you need to specifically list it?
Yeah. It's temporary Once they move a shipping container in the driveway, it's permanent. They're not gonna move it without a semi.
So certainly as a town attorney, I would interpret that to mean that a shipping container would fall under that definition.
Yeah.
Put the burden back on the property owner to try to show otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is a first reading, and just so the public understands, we have to pass this on a second reading, so we do have time to make changes before it comes up for that next reading.
And there will be a public hearing at every second reading of ordinance.
Yes. Okay. Any other?
I make a motion we pass the first reading on this.
Got a motion to pass from Vice Mayor Cates,
I second.
second from Alderman Hummel. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Madam Recorder, motion passes. Next is ordinance 2504, parking on streets, municipal code amendment. Do I have a motion to hear?
Motion here.
How about I have a motion to hear from Alderman Bailey and a second from Vice Mayor Cates? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Mr. Ellis.
This is an existing ordinance that deals with trailers, vehicles, recreational vehicles, boats, personal watercraft, motorhomes, campers, travel trailers, camping trailers. We're simply adding two words, and streets. Some residents have been using that as a loophole by moving the trailer or vehicle out on the street, and then within a few days back into the yard, then back in the street. So this will give us the ability to enforce it in the streets.
Wow.
Simply adding two words.
Okay.
Mr. McDonald can expound a little bit if you need him to.
I think so this isn't, it's the same ordinance, we're just adding a few words.
Same ordinance, adding two words.
Any questions or comments from the Alderman?
Yeah, I got a question on that too. If they parking on it, what if it's there's a lot of people now that's working from these trailers. They came in, might come home at 6, 7 o'clock at night, park their truck and trailer on the street, leave 6:30 the next morning, or 7. Is that include this too? They can park anything there at any time? I know it's open in the county. Somebody to say, well, I moved it and then come back, but it's a lot of people that's doing that now. Park a trailer when they come home at night if they can't get in the backyard, and then have to back up, pull it down, and hook it to the truck the next morning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as
but I
far as
think-
you, trailers are concerned, no, I mean, if we don't see it, then, and it's gone the next day, of course, we don't work at night. So, but RVs, that's the only thing that's, left out of the original ordinance.
Oh, well,
So
the
I'd say,
RVs.
if that's something that you guys do want to address, that would be another amendment, would have this existing ordinance to allow a utility-type trailer for a certain amount of time.
Just adding RV.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I make a motion.
Motion to pass from Vice Mayor Cates. Is there a second? Second from Alderman Campbell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Up next is Ordinance 25, Board amending the municipal building code. Do I have a motion to hear?
Motion here.
Motion to hear from the Vice Mayor. Is there a second? Second from Alderman Bailey. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Mr. Ellis.
This ordinance is recommended by our building officials to require 5/8 type X ceilings of residential structures. The purpose is to further protect firefighters. We'll definitely be willing on this, along with we currently do. It's not required. This is, if passed, this will extend the time that it would take for a fire to reach the upper rafters, wood joists of a residential building. Again, I'll defer to Chief Walls as well.
And the cost between this and what they're using.
I'm not for sure about the cost. I mean, it is an increase in cost, but we also talked about, like, if you were to make them sprinkle this whole house, that cost would be a lot more dramatic than what we're proposing.
I actually looked into the cost, and
Okay.
they actually, it's either the same price or actually cheaper because they manufacture more 5/8 sheetrock, which I found pretty impressive. The only real drawback is half-inch sheetrock weighs 54 pounds, 5/8 weighs 70. Other than that, it gives you better structural stability of your house in general, soundproofing. The only difference is the weight in installing it. But most people now have machines that they use to lift the sheetrock up, so that eliminates that.
We already require 5/8 type X by code in all garage ceilings. So they're already putting it in the garage. Now what we want to do is put it throughout the home, just in the ceiling. It gives you a 1-hour fire rating from the living area to the attic space. And it gives firefighters more time before the truss system collapses, trying to fight a fire in a combustible truss-built house.
Can either of you speak to we had a resident come up with health concerns. Do either of you have any
The off gases.
comment on that?
Are there off gases on it?
I don't want people getting cancer 20 years from now because we
Yeah.
told them they got to put gypsum
Oh,
over their house.
You're using gypsum board on your construction on the outside anyway.
Or on the inside,
And
yeah.
the inside, it's already there. I don't know how it's manufactured, in China, I don't know about that, I'm not a chemist. But that could be a
By-
concern, but then again, we
by-
have water bottles, we still cook with aluminum pots and pans.
And
I
by
use
code-
ceramic.
And by code, we can't limit, we can't discriminate against the types of building materials. And that comes from state. So anything to discriminate against that, we would have to say, we can't say you can only use this manufacturer. We have to allow all manufacturers.
Well, can we
But it's
limit it
still
to
the-
the United States only instead of getting it from China?
Well, it's still you're still mandating a certain material.
Yeah, we're mandating.
That would be
something
like mandating that everybody goes back to the asbestos popcorn ceilings.
That's in every building.
But the difference in time, most of the old construction that we have, the bigger homes, well, the problem we have there, we don't have an aerial device. Once a fire extends into that attic, the only way we can get to it is go to it. And that's actually not as bad as our new construction. I'm not gonna mention any builder, but very few nails are used in structures now. It's glue. Or plates. Well, once this is fire with 5 to 8 minutes, collapse. What this will do, since we don't have the aerial device at this point, this will give us enough time to get in and knock the fire and make the rescue before the fire gets above the structure and causes a structural collapse.
What type of a truck did you say, since we don't have it, we gotta go the other way? What was that truck?
Combustible.
I mean, that
wooden.
truck you just mentioned.
A ladder truck, which gets us higher master streams up high.
Oh, that would be helpful if we had one of those, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and that's where I think our tax money could go to help you out, and get that fire station built, and get that truck, couldn't we? There you go.
So this would be mandatory for all builders, right?
Sir?
It would be mandatory for all builders.
For all builders that use combustible truss systems.
So that builder that you're talking about, I know who it is.
Yes.
That uses the glue instead of nails, that different weight, what's gonna happen to that rafters?
It had to be designed engineered, the same way I require it now. If you use a truss system, it has to be design engineered. So the engineer layer that designs the truss system for the house would have to accommodate for the additional weight.
And you had extra weight would make a lot of difference in a glue joint.
Well, truss systems are strong systems until you introduce heat and water to them. You know, the particle board they use, it's as strong as straight wood till you get it wet, then it falls apart. Well, truss systems, that's where they've gone to them, even large span buildings like churches, is they can bear a lot of weight. They can actually bear more weight than traditional type construction until they receive an install. Because all it takes is one portion of that to fail, and the entire system depends on the other pieces to drive that stream. Once this one part fails, the entire system fails, and it fails dramatically. And that's the reason that.
And one thing they do with a truss system, it allows them to span a greater distance. So if they're trying to span the length of or the width of the entire building, they'll use a truss system. But since they don't have dimensional lumber in that length, it'll come together in a butt joint. It's not necessarily glued, but it's a butt joint that's fingered together, and then it's got metal plates on each side of it that's stamped into it. Well, when that part catches on fire, then that part starts to collapse, and that's when the structure comes in.
Okay.
Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Yes, I do, please. I read last year that the governor passed where builders can get their own inspectors.
Builders can hire a third-party inspection, yes.
All right, how is that going to affect this ordinance if they bring in someone else?
Well, wait a minute,
That-
they
that's
can
a whole
only do
different-
that if you don't address their concern within 30 days, is that correct?
Right.
Yes.
But then the town still has to, we as a municipality still have to issue a certificate of occupancy, which has to be addressed to a building official.
Thank you.
Yes, but we don't do the inspection. If we don't do it within 30 days, an outside inspector can do it, and we still have to issue that occupancy without ever doing the inspection. I don't like that.
So y'all recommend this, right?
Yes, sir.
I highly recommend it.
Make a motion we pass it.
Got a motion to pass from the vice mayor. Is there a second? Second from Alderman Campbell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, there are no resolutions under old business. Resolutions under new business is Resolution 2518, 2025 Roadway Improvements Contract Award. Do I have a motion to hear?
Motion to hear Resolution 2518.
Got a motion to hear, Mr. Ellis.
Yes, the town received bids on May 27th, 2025. We had two companies bid, Fowler Paving and Standard Construction. The bids were a little bit over $10,000 discrepancy, so that's pretty close bids. We always like to have more bidders, but two will be fine. Staff is asking that we execute a contract with Fowler Paving in an amount of $336,910.60. The list of streets is attached in your packet that would be in this paving project. We have funds available for this, budgeted funds, so that's not an issue.
When's this project scheduled to start?
As soon as we can get, if you guys pass it tonight, I think Mr. Mullins has been on the phone with Mr. King to get the contract ASAP. And as soon as Mr. Fowler puts up his bond, signs the contract, he's willing to go to work, correct? I would say within the next week.
I have a question, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I was looking through that, and we'll look at on the part for the Chickasaw Ridge subdivision, Section C, item number 2. I didn't see this on any of the other streets. It says a concrete curb and gutter removal and replacement. Are we taking out their curbs?
I'll defer to Mr. Mullins, but typically there'll be a failure in that curb, it'll settle.
There's some damaged curb over there, that's part of it. They'll go in there and fix the damaged curb, put new curb in.
Just standard procedure.
So it is standard?
Mhm.
Okay,
It's
good.
only 100 feet if you look on that, 100 linear feet.
Yeah, okay.
And that's in several places, that ain't just one spot, 100 foot, it'll be
Okay.
several places where it's standard curb.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? We need to get this passed so it's in this year's budget,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Make a motion to pass it.
Motion to pass from the vice mayor. Is there a second? Second from Alderman Campbell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion,
Mayor, I have to abstain from this. I am related to Mr. Fowler by marriage.
okay. Marilyn Austin abstains. All others voted yes. The motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, other items of business. We have a tri-state armature requesting approval for a credit application. Do I need a motion to hear, or can we just address this? It's not a resolution.
I think we can just speak
No,
on it.
go ahead.
Tri-State Armature is a company that the Water and Wastewater departments use to rebuild electric motors from time to time, typically an emergency situation. We've had an ongoing credit application with them, which had expired, so we simply just want to renew that and resubmit that so we can continue to do business smoothly.
Did the cost go up any from what they charged last time?
I'm not sure, Mr. Cates. I haven't dealt with that in a few years. And I think Blake would be the one to answer that, and had most recently motors repaired, but unfortunately, Mr. Blake is on vacation. But I would like to take this opportunity to point out Mr. Cornelius Allen, who he had stepped up tonight and attended this meeting, so I don't know if he can answer your question or not. Let's see.
Can
Mr.
you
Allen?
answer that?
What's the question?
Had the price increased over since,
How much has the price increased over the last time you had the contract?
It's basically dealing with how quick we need it. It's not like, it doesn't, if you want it done ASAP, you probably gotta pay for their overtime, something like the company overtime, stuff like that, but if you want it done in just give it to them, they give you a regular price on their work schedule. So this basically, it just fluctuates about how you get the motor to them there.
if we ask for a rush job, of course they charge more. They'll work,
I
they're open
understand that.
24/7.
How much is the application for?
Oh, my goodness. How much? I don't think we have a dollar amount on there, Mr. Cates. It's just for them to bill us, like, for example, Mr. Allen went yesterday to pick up a motor, and they will bill us. It's basically a 30-day net. They'll send us a bill. It allows us to go get the material, put it back in place, and not have to take them a check or something along that line. Just standard business.
The reason I'm asking, nothing personally against them, but I was just curious if we're doing over $10,000 a year, that probably should be looked into for a bid to make it legal. I'm just saying, nothing personally against him. That's the reason I'm asking.
Well, we raised the bid threshold to 25,000.
Well, I mean 25.
And I'm not going to say, I don't know how
I'm
much
sorry.
business we do with them, but I'll find out.
If it's over that, I'm sorry, I meant
We
25.
use it for emergency purpose only.
Yes.
Emergency, so like, we just had like a couple motors to lock up or burn up and everything like that. We just take it there, they'll fix it for us and we get it back. We probably, I think one motor, I think the last 2 motors we did was like $5,000. So it won't be as much for.
We'll check. If we're over
You
that
have a
limit,
couple of bad situations, though. You done run over 25,000 real quick.
I'd like to ask Mr. Minor on emergency stuff.
Do you have to do that by law on 25,000?
Not on emergency purchases. But
Okay.
you got to, whoever purchases it has to be able to justify it as an emergency purchase, and then it has to come before the board at the next meeting and the board ratify it.
Okay. It's
And
nothing
I sent
personally
you guys
against
an
him. I
email
know we
today.
need it, we have to have it.
All right, one at a
Just
time.
a question.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. What is the wishes of the board?
We gotta go, we gotta have some backup.
I agree that we
gotta
should
have something we
proceed.
can depend on. Do what?
I agree that we should proceed with the
Okay.
application.
Very good. Any other comments?
So, proceed with,
Credit application, yes.
I need a motion.
I don't think so, because it was just discussion. We can if you want to make it
I
formal.
think we have to approve it.
We do.
This board has
You'd
to
rather
approve
have
it.
it
I have
approved?
to have a motion.
All right, Mr. Mayor, I make the motion that we approve the credit application for Tri-State Armature and Electrical Works Incorporated.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from the vice mayor. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Food truck update. Do I go to the town manager or the town attorney?
That's going to be probably Mr. McDonald again. It's Mr. McDonald night.
All right.
We wanted to give you guys an update on the 2 current food trucks that we have in place and some of the work he's done, that we are in almost constant contact with them, rather inspections, fire chief as well, so I'll defer to Mr. McDonald.
All right, by the ordinance that we have, the most recent ordinance, which was passed, I think maybe last year, each food truck, the permit and the site plan has to be approved by resolution by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. The two we got right now have not been. They were already operating when the ordinance passed. We've been working with them. We've done the inspection on them. Steve, good with fire. We've passed everything on code side. So I think what we're looking for maybe next month is that go up before a resolution. And then we had a third that's wanting to apply for a food truck. I thought he would be here tonight, but I don't think he is. It's a Quintarius Armor. He's wanting to put a food truck out by the Animal Care Hospital, going out on 64. Is that the name of it? Animal Hospital?
Yeah, it's just past Ace Hardware.
Oh,
Yeah, where there's two concrete pads right there, and if I'm not mistaken, a building burnt at one of those concrete pads.
Yes.
So he's wanting to put his food truck right there. It won't take up more than 20% of the parking, which is required by the ordinance. And we've started working on it, but I recommended to him that we bring it before the board to just get y'all's recommendations if you thought you want to approve it before we go through it's a very detailed process, and it costs quite a bit of money for them to do it. So I was like, let's just see what the board wants to do before we continue. What he wants to do is catfish, maybe some hamburgers and catfish, stuff like that.
Is this something we could discuss at the work session?
yeah, you mean it's something other than a taco, right?
It's something other than a taco.
Please.
This is something that don't need to be discussed until he shows up himself.
Yeah, I think that could be, yeah.
So, yeah, and like on resolution for the next one, we'll have to have all three, where the two did pass and the third that we're going for.
Correct.
And then a way to,
Yeah, we'll do that.
to
Okay, we'll
address,
discuss it at a work session. I think that's a consensus.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
thanks.
Workshop item,
If I may, Mr. Mayor?
go ahead.
Since I wanted it on the agenda, I think, again, this would be an item that we would add to it and pick a date for everyone, because I also think one thing that's important is that we come up with the workshop, because coming up in the fall and start of the winter, we're going to have people pulling their petitions for county commissioner, for the primaries, and also for the school board primaries that take place in the spring of next year. And we need to make certain, after last fiasco we had the last time, that we have a workshop to discuss how many days, from what date. And I believe Mr. Minor at one point said he'd be happy to work us up a vanilla type of ordinance or whatever it is, resolution that would handle this so that we could move forward. So I get everything in place so there's no misunderstanding, so everybody who's pulling these petitions will know. Again, it'll just be refined what we have and change some of the wording. And I think a workshop would be a good forum for that. That's
And
why I
I
was looking
think-
for that.
I would tend to agree with that. I think that's something that Mr. Minor you can bring something to us.
And then at that time at the workshop, we can have a chow and talk about how many days we want. You know, if we want it all year, if we want it 1 week, whatever it is.
Okay,
Okay, very
there
good.
you go.
Now we just got to pick a date.
All righty.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments?
Just a date.
A date?
A date,
Oh, a date for the
Yeah.
workshop?
Date.
yeah.
Well, it would have to be,
Now, I understand you said we've got a special call meeting on the 30th. Do we want to just allocate, I don't think it'd last more than an hour, probably less at 5
it
o'clock?
might. It's going over, it's going over tax rate and budget, and we might be here for a lengthy time.
Will we do it at the beginning, maybe, and be done with it? What do y'all
Will
think?
that give you enough time to come
Is
up
that-
with something, Mr. Minor?
Would it?
I was thinking July, but our next
Oh.
meeting in July is the 17th, and July's
Well-
busy.
Okay, well, 17th is good. We could have a workshop maybe before the meeting or
Before the
something?
meeting?
Yeah, yeah. 6 o'clock, and then go straight into our board meeting. Mr. Minor, are you
I had
good?
something on the 17th, but I think it's a lunch.
Hmm?
How long do you think we would need? Can we do it at 6 or 6:30? if we do it on July 17th before our regular 7 o'clock meeting, could you be here at 6:30?
6 o'clock?
6 o'clock, to be
Okay.
sure.
Wait a minute, the vice mayor.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you gonna do them both same night?
Yes.
Yes.
We'll do a workshop at 6 and our regular meeting at 7.
Yep.
July what?
17th.
July 17th.
17.
I think it's the third Thursday of the month.
It is.
I think it is.
Okay, I'll try to make it.
All right. Is that a consensus? Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
If something comes up later, you can get in touch with the
Okay.
town manager.
Yes, thank you.
All right. If there's no other business, I'll take my favorite motion.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn is recognized by the vice mayor.
All in favor? Aye.
Let me bang my gavel. Hey, Miss Edwards.